1833. 1833 MDCCCXXIII was a common year starting on Tuesday of the Gregorian calendar and a common year starting on Sunday of the Julian calendar, the 1833rd year of the Common Era CE and Anno Domini 80 designations, the 833rd year of the second millennium, the 33rd year. As of the start of 1833, the Gregorian calendar was 12 days ahead of the Julian calendar, which remained in localized use until 1923. Events: January-March. January 3, reassertion of British sovereignty over the Falkland Islands in the South Atlantic. February 6, His Royal Highness Prince Otto Friedrich Ludwig of Bavaria assumes the title His Majesty Othon I, by the grace of God, King of Greece, Prince of Bavaria. March 4, Andrew Jackson is sworn in for his second term as President of the United States. April-June. April 1, General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna is elected President of Mexico by the legislatures of 16 of the 18 Mexican states. During his frequent absences from office to fight on the battlefield, Santa Anna turns the duties of government over to his vice president, Valentin Gomez Farias. April 18, over 300 delegates from England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland travel to the office of the Prime Minister, the Earl Grey, to call for the immediate abolition of slavery throughout the British Empire. May 6. Carl Friedrich Gauss and Wilhelm Weber obtain permission to build an electromagnetic telegraph in Göttingen. In Alexandria, Virginia, an attack is made on U.S. President Andrew Jackson. May 10, the Le Khoi revolt breaks out in southern Vietnam against Emperor Minh Mang, who has desecrated the deceased Mandarin Le Van Diet. May 11, British brig Lady of the Lake, on passage from Ireland to Quebec, is struck by ice and sunk off Cape St. Francis, Newfoundland, with the loss of between 170 and 265 lives and only 15 survivors. May 25, the Chilean Constitution of 1833 is promulgated. June 5, Ada Lovelace is introduced to Charles Babbage by Mary Somerville. June 9, Dubai gets independence from the United Kingdom and is founded as a city. June 29, an earthquake at Fort Nisqually is experienced by William Fraser Talmy. His journal entry records the first written eyewitness account of an earthquake in the Puget Sound region. July-September. July 5, Liberal Wars, Battle of Cape St. Vincent, the forces of Queen Maria Roman II of Portugal win decisively. July 8, the Treaty of Hungar-Skelessi creates an alliance between the Ottoman Empire and the Russian Empire. July 14, John Keble preaches a sermon at Oxford, in part a protest against the Church Temporalities Ireland Act 1833, which is afterwards published as National Apostasy. This sermon is traditionally considered as the beginning of the Oxford movement of High Church Anglicans. July 20, a mob in Jackson County, Missouri destroys the printing office of the early Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints containing what becomes known as the Doctrine and Covenants. August 1, King William's College on the Isle of Man officially opens. August 12, the settlement of Chicago is established by 350 settlers at the estuary of the Chicago River in the Illinois Territory, USA. August 18, the Canadian ship SS Royal William sets out from Pictou, Nova Scotia on a 25-day passage of the Atlantic Ocean largely under steam to Gravesend, England. August 20, future United States President Benjamin Harrison is born in Ohio. From this date until the death of former U.S. President James Madison on June 28, 1836, a total of 18 presidents of the United States, 2 former, 1 current, and 15 future are living, which is more than any other time period in U.S. history. August 26, the canton of Basel is partitioned by the Swiss Taxation to create the 2 half-cantons of Basel City and Basel Country. August 28, the British Slavery Abolition Act 1833, beginning the process of giving slaves in much of the British Empire their freedom, receives royal assent, coming into effect August 1, 1834. A £20 million fund is established to compensate slave owners. August 29, the Parliament of the United Kingdom enacts the Factory Acts, limiting child labor. August 31, chartered ship Amphitrite sinks off Boulogne-sur-Mer while undertaking the penal transportation of 108 British female convicts and 12 children from Woolwich to New South Wales with the loss of war. Only 3 crew survive. September 2, Oberlin College is founded in Oberlin, Ohio. September 29, 3-year-old Isabella Roman II becomes Queen of Spain under the regency of her mother, Maria Cristina of the Two Sicilies. Her uncle Don Carlos, Conde de Molina, challenges her claim, beginning the First Carlist War. October 20, Alfred, Lord Tennyson, writes his oft-quoted poem, Ulysses. November 12, a very spectacular occurrence of the Leonid meteor shower is observed all over North America, and is the inspiration for the song Stars Fell on Alabama. November 25, a major 8.7 earthquake strikes Sumatra. December, the American Anti-Slavery Society is founded. December 14, Caspar Hauser, a mysterious German youth, is stabbed, dying 3 days later on December 17. December 18, the national anthem of the Russian Empire, God Save the Tsar, is first performed. Date unknown. The dawn of biochemistry. The first enzyme, diastase, is discovered by Anselm Payen. Greece recaptures the Acropolis of Athens. H.R.H. Prince Mongkut of Siam founds the Damayut Buddhist Reform Movement. American healthcare brand McKesson Corporation established as a partnership. Foundation of Kalamazoo College in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Madras College in St. Andrews, Scotland. Births. January 1, Robert Lawson, New Zealand architect, d. 1902. January 5, Eugene W. Hilgard, German-American father of soil science, d. 1916. January 7, Sir Henry Roscoe, English chemist, d. 1915. January 18, Joseph S. Scarrett, American admiral, d. 1897. January 28, Charles George Gordon, British Army officer, administrator, d. 1885. February 3, Abu Bakr of Johor, Malaysian Sultan, d. 1895. February 6, J.E.B. Stuart, American Confederate General, d. 1864. February 11, Melville Fuller, 8th Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, d. 1910. February 19, Elie Ducommune, Swiss journalist activist, recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, d. 1906. February 25, John St. John, American temperance movement leader, d. 1916. February 28, Alfred von Schlieffen, German field marshal, d. 1913. March 10, Dimitri Sturza, four-time Prime Minister of Romania, d. 1914. March 14, Lucy Hobbs Taylor, American dentist, d. 1910. March 15, Jezef Ejeferi, 16th Prime Minister of Hungary, d. 1914. March 20, Daniel Douglas Home, Scottish medium, d. 1886. March 22, Manuel Ruiz Zorrilla, Prime Minister of Spain, d. 1895. April 6, Luis Cordero Crespo, 14th President of Ecuador, d. 1912. April 11, Frederick von Otter, 8th Prime Minister of Sweden, d. 1910. May 5, Lazarus Fuchs, German mathematician, d. 1902. May 7, Johannes Brahms, German composer, d. 1897. May 9, Hermann von Spaun, Austro-Hungarian admiral, d. 1919. May 26, Edward William Godwin, English architect, d. 1886. June 1, John Marshall Harlan, Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, d. 1911. June 4, Garnet Wolseley, 1st Viscount Wolseley, British Field Marshal, d. 1913. June 24, Gustaf Akerhielm, 6th Prime Minister of Sweden d. 1900. Alfred William Bennett, English botanist d. 1902. July-December. July 26, Gheorghe Manu, 17th Prime Minister of Romania d. 1911. July 27, Thomas George Bonney, English geologist d. 1923. August 3, August Schmidt, German educator, women's rights activist d. 1902. August 9, Emily Pepys, English child diarist d. 1877. August 16, Eliza and Otis, American poet, newspaper publisher, and philanthropist d. 1904. August 20, Benjamin Harrison, 23rd President of the United States d. 1901, 1 September 2, Henry Hotze, Swiss-American Confederate propagandist d. 1887. September 20, Ernesto Teodoro Moneta, Italian pacifist, recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize d. 1918. September 22, Gheorghe Gregor Cantacuzino, two-time Prime Minister of Romania d. 1913. October 2, William Corby, American Catholic priest d. 1897. October 21, Alfred Nobel, Swedish inventor of dynamite, creator of the Nobel Prize d. 1896. October 23, Antonio Flores Gijón, 13th President of Ecuador d. 1915. November 6, Jonas Lai, Norwegian author d. 1908. November 9, Emile Gaboriau, French writer d. 1873. November 12, Alexander Borodin, Russian composer d. 1887. November 13, Edwin Booth, American tragedian d. 1893. November 14, Sir Hugo, British general, Victoria Cross recipient d. 1909. November 19, Eliza Lynch, First Lady of Paraguay d. 1886. November 27, Princess Mary Adelaide of Cambridge d. 1897, T7. November 30, Frederick Richards, British Admiral d. 1912. December 7, Rodrigo Augusto da Silva, Brazilian senator, author of the Golden Law d. 1889. December 13, Peter S. Orolian, 19th Prime Minister of Romania d. 1909. December 20, Samuel Mudd, American doctor to John Wilkes Booth d. 1883. December 25, Princess Adelheid Marie of Anhalt-Dessau d. 1916. Date unknown. Margaret Fox, American medium d. 1893. Fu Shengxiang, Chinese scholar, Chancellor d. 1864. Deaths. January-June. January 10, Adrien Marie Legendre, French mathematician b. 1752. January 16, Nanette Streicher, German piano maker, composer, music educator, and writer b. 1769. January 16, Bannister Tarleton, British general, politician b. 1754. January 23, Edward Pellew, 1st Viscount Exmouth, British admiral b. 1757. March 13, William Bradley, British naval officer, cartographer b. 1757. April 6, Adamantios Korais, Greek scholar b. 1748. April 7, Antoni Radziwiłł, Polish politician b. 1775. Jacques Rioux, French artist b. 1760. April 22, Richard Trevithick, English inventor b. 1771. 1771. May 5, Sophia Campbell, Australian artist b. 1777. May 15, Edmund Kean, British actor b. 1787, T7. May 23, Francesca Anna Canfield, American linguist, poet, and translator b. 1803. June 1, Oliver Wolcott, Jr., American lawyer, politician, 2nd United States Secretary of the Treasury, 24th Governor of Connecticut b. 1760. June 2, Simon Byon, Irish prizefighter b. 1806. July-December. July 2, Gervasio Antonio de Posadas, Argentine leader b. 1757. July 5, Nicephore Niepce, French photography pioneer b. 1765. July 11 Yagan, Noongar indigenous Australian warrior killed B.C. 1795. July 12 Samuel Sterrett, American politician b. 1758. July 19 George Levison Gower, 1st Duke of Sutherland, British landowner b. 1758. July 20 Ninian Edwards, American politician, governor of and senator from Illinois b. 1775. July 22 Joseph Forlands, Italian ophthalmologist b. 1757. July 23 Anselmo de la Cruz, Chilean political figure b. 1777. July 26 Thomas Napton, English mariner, executed B.C. 1816. July 29 William Wilberforce, English politician, abolitionist b. 1759. August 9 Godfrey Higgins, English archaeologist b. 1772. August 14 Placidus Aspestia, Swiss mountain climber b. 1752. September 7 Hannah More, English religious writer, romantic, and philanthropist b. 1745. September 15 Arthur Hallam, English poet b. 1811. September 27 Ram Mohan Roy, Hindu reformer b. 1772. September 29 King Ferdinand Roman VII of Spain b. 1784. October 3 Francois Marquis de Chasseloup-Laubec, French general b. 1754. October 4 Maria Jane Jewsbury, English poet and literary reviewer b. 1800. October 16 Andrei Bolotov, Russian agriculturalist and memoirist b. 1738. Mino Hawes, German-born copperplate engraver b. 1752. November 16 John Macmillan, Presbyterian minister, missionary in Pennsylvania b. 1752. November 23 Jean-Baptiste Jourdan, French marshal b. 1762. December 17 Caspar Hauser, German youth of uncertain origin stabbed b. 1812. References